These ads. Let's get love. There we go. Oh, hi everyone. Welcome. Hi Brittany. Hi Anchal. Lovely to have you here. Welcome. Let's get into it. Some of you have waited a very long time for this reading, so I'm not going to delay. Hi Aki. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I won't delay too much because yeah, some of y'all have waited a while. So let me shuffle your deck for you, if I can do so without dropping half of it. I thought my phone was on silent. How does that happen? It's always Snapchat too. Snapchat manages to get through the sound barrier. Anyway, for some reason it wasn't on silent, so we're gonna put it back on silent. So we're going to be doing Sagittarius's monthly predictions reading, should I say, in this video. We're going to be focusing on October, but it is a general predictions reading. So we're just going to see what comes out. I will be pulling 3 oracle cards. We're going to get them from this deck. And these 3 cards will tell us the main 3 themes you can expect to experience in the month ahead. It's been weird lately. Like, I don't know if it's just the decks that I'm using, but I think October is going to be a very interesting month. I think that the more we complicate it, the more resistance we'll meet. I feel like collectively so far, like this is what, my 9th video? Collectively so far, the energy seems to be keep it simple, don't overcomplicate, focus on yourself, focus on growing how you want to, and try not to get too wrapped up in the finer details. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for you, Sag. You're a very different sign. So let's see what your main themes are. What are Sagittarius's main themes for the month of October? What are Sagittarius's main themes? Ah, welcome back, Em. So lovely to have you again. Welcome, Olivia. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, not what I expected. We have black hole coming out for you. What are Sagittarius's main themes in October? We also have quantum entanglement. This card doesn't come out very often, so I'm going to need that guidebook for that one. That's interesting. You know how I was just saying, try not to get wrapped up in the smaller details? That's what quantum entanglement can feel like sometimes. We also have matter coming out for you, and with that card we have void. Oh wow, Saggy Wadgy. To be honest with you, your energy is going to be a little bit out of character in October. It feels very not like you usually. It feels a little bit, yeah, let's hope, Brittany. Let's hope that that's what this is about. I'll get Tarot to kind of clarify the details, but that black hole is typically about things kind of disappearing into some sort of void. And then you got the void card as well. So I almost feel like there is this feeling of you really trying to kind of focus on the right things and trying to not pay any attention to the stuff that is somewhat oppressing, to the stuff that is taking away from your positivity. But I see this sort of internal struggle there. So I'm going to have to get Tarot to clarify that black hole energy. At the back of the deck, we have time. I really feel like you're trying to shift your energy in October, and you're maybe more aware of where your time is being invested, because I could see how you're trying to detach from small details like this quantum entanglement card is saying, but you're also trying to kind of push things away on purpose, if that makes sense. There's a strong feeling of you being like kind of living in your own world, and you are a free spirit. Like Sagittarius energy is stereotypically a very much free-spirited, but I feel like you're really pushing something away from you in October. Like, you know what? No, I don't want to focus on that. With the black hole and the void here, really pushing it away. Let's clarify this black hole energy. What is going on with this black hole energy for Sagittarius? We have justice reversed. That makes a lot of sense. Because if it's not a fair situation, why are you going to give it attention, right? You're going to push it away then. You're going to be like, no, I don't want to deal with that. We have the Three of Potions reversed. That makes sense too. What is this black hole situation about for Sagittarius? It could be about a friendship or some sort of connection that you have. Like an acquaintance even. We have the Hierophant coming out now as well though. Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Thank you for being here though. Oh, we have the Five of Presents. I'm just reading those comments. That's so funny, Em. All right, so we have the Devil card reversed. Okay, that makes a lot of sense with what you're saying, Anchal. So I definitely feel like this is an unfair situation. Justice card reversed in a general reading is more about feeling like you're in some sort of situation, partnership, contract even that you don't want to be in, but you are in, so you just have to deal with it. With the black hole here, it is somewhat like heavy. It feels a bit like, ugh, I don't want to deal with this, but I have to. And so you do kind of push this away if you can. I do think with the Three of Potions being reversed, it is some sort of social situation for a lot of you. Or the social aspect of the situation is what makes it feel very heavy and uncomfortable. With the Hierophant being here, there is a feeling of like responsibility to the point where like it's because of somebody else that you have to do this, or you feel like this is some sort of structure that you have to be a part of. I also feel like some of you may be getting advice about this though, because you don't want to have to keep putting yourself in this position, this situation. I reckon I can see how this energy is shifting to try to help you get out of it in October, but with the Five of Presents there seems to be this feeling of like worrying about what you're going to. Like you're not just going to try to leave this, because what are you going to from here? Like what is the out? What is the way out with the Five of Presents? You're worried about either losing money or going from having a job to not having a job. So you're kind of worried about making changes. And so that's why this feels like a black hole, because we're just kind of, we don't want to focus on it. We're just looking at it as that part of the universe that nobody really wants to know too much about, even if we wanted to. So I do feel like this is a heavier energy in your October month, but it is still present, and that's why it's a major theme. Even if you don't want to focus on it, like it's still kind of there. What is the additional energy or information here? What other information do you have about this theme for Sagittarius? For some of you, this isn't going to apply to all of you, but it could be somebody else's kind of opinion of something that you are passionate about, telling you that you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, or you have to kind of meet a deadline in October, and you're worried because you're seeing that like you're probably not going to meet that deadline. I do feel like someone in authority is going to kind of, or someone who has like a lot of leverage in this situation is going to be more aware of what's going on. But I also think with that Hierophant card upright, you're being very careful about who you talk to about this. You don't want to tell the wrong person about how you're feeling about this, because you don't want to step on their toes, or you don't want to make it a conflict, an unnecessary sort of conflict. We got the Hierophant again to clarify the situation. So doing the right thing is really important to you over here. Making sure that you have support without kind of sabotaging or jeopardizing this. It could be that like some sort of tradition is in place here, or you just kind of under somebody's sort of strict rules. But I do think that you may need to get advice on what to do over here. Yeah, it just feels like this Hierophant, like especially in this deck, look at how these people are like pleading to this figure, to this character. I think it may be good to really get advice, but we're going to get advice. This is just more information. The Ace of Goblets, an emotional opportunity. and the Two of Swords upright, trying to make a decision, but also being stuck in a limbo because you don't know what to do. I definitely see you weighing up your information throughout October. Any information you get, you're just going to be kind of sitting on it, waiting for it to be more obvious before you take action. The Ace of Goblets makes me think that this opportunity or this situation is kind of forcing you to kind of want to share your feelings, to want to talk about it from a compassionate point of view. It's not like we're trying to start trouble. We're literally just trying to kind of open up. It's highly likely that this could be impacting somebody else as well, and you two kind of bond over that shared experience, if that makes sense. Because the Ace of Goblets is sometimes extending an emotional opportunity to somebody else and kind of reaching out to them and going, hey, do you need this? Do you want this support? What is the advice here, though, for Sagittarius with this black hole thing? What is the advice here? We have Priestess, which is interesting because all of these Hierophant cards can sometimes represent priests in religious institutions. We have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? So for some of you, you are responsible for somebody else in this situation, or you feel like you need to give them advice. Take it as it resonates, because it's going to be different for all of you. But I do think that this Priestess card is talking about you needing to be the one that takes action. Not that you need to do it in October, you don't need to rush, but it is in your hands is what it feels like. Can we clarify the advice for Sagittarius with black hole? And maybe the action that you can take is just trying to talk to somebody about this, or with the goblet, Ace of Goblets there, trying to have a compassionate conversation or an emotional opportunity to kind of share how you're feeling with somebody. The other cards I have for you are Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. And we also have Inner Temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So your heart is here. Your advice has a lot to do with speaking on your feelings and talking honestly about how you're feeling and sharing how you're feeling, and start having a conversation about how you're feeling with someone. I also feel like this Akasha energy is about acting when the time is right, not rushing ahead, not kind of jumping into the deep end, because we know with the Two of Swords that you are wanting to gather information first. You want to be more aware of what your options are before you take action. You're not going to act impulsively, and that's a really intuitive way of responding to the situation. Your advice is that you are divinely guided. So I do think with this Akasha energy, while you may, with the Priestess card, need to take action, I don't think that you should do it rushed. You should wait till you have the right information, and you should seize an opportunity to talk to somebody about how you feel as well with this devotion card, which could be a professional. Like if this is a workplace situation, which I did see your comment, Brittany, then maybe it's about HR involving somebody who is professional with the Hierophant card, who can actually help. And Rama is saying, where are you being called to journey to? So I feel like the advice here has a lot to do with getting support from the right places and making sure that you have all the information before you take action. But it is in your hands to take action here so that you can try to get out of this when you can. There is a strong feeling of timing it right and getting information from the right places as well. So that's what I'm seeing with the black hole. I had a feeling it was going to be a tricky energy, because it always is. I've pulled the black hole card for myself and family members before, and it is a bit of a tricky energy, but it is a feeling of us kind of working with that space, because we know that black holes, well, to be honest, they are very complicated. I don't know if we do know much about black holes, but in your situation, we know that it is a bit of a void, a place where you're trying to make something disappear, and you're at times feelings like this whole thing could just disappear, or wanting it to just disappear. Let's have a look at your next theme though. With quantum entanglement, I'm going to get some messages from the guidebook straight away. Quantum makes me think of something very, very, very small, and entanglement is making me think of some sort of attachment. So it was making me think of like the smaller details, the finer details, and getting too kind of absorbed in the little things. With that card reversed, it's highly likely that you're trying to just kind of take a step back and not get so fixated on something. So we do have quantum entanglement is illusory separation. Particles that were once attached remain related, affecting and modifying each other, no matter the distance or level of separation between them. Oh, Anchal, I just saw your message. So, the thing about this is the Hierophant is more representing someone who can give you the right information. And it does feel like someone who has authority, someone who has almost a responsibility to help. So a HR was like an option, or an example, should I say. But I do see with the Hierophant coming out twice, there is someone to get advice from who is helpful, because they can offer the more kind of process advice. Like, okay, so in this situation, this is the process. There's someone who operates in some sort of structure, some sort of organization, where there are processes and protocols to follow. And so they would be able to give you advice on like, what protocol do we follow in this situation? What are my options? But the Ace of Cups is not so much a strict process following situation. It's more about just sharing your feelings and having a conversation about how you feel as well. So with this quantum entanglement card, it is about particles that were once attached remaining related, affecting and modifying each other, no matter the distance or level of separation between them. Your energies can still be connected to each other regardless of the physical distance between you and the person or thing. So this also talks about telepathic consciousness. With this card being reversed, you may feel separated from somebody who you used to be very close to in October. You may be missing someone. You may be still feeling connected to them, but it could be that you're feeling disconnect from their side, or you're feeling like someone is really wanting to connect to you, but you're disconnecting to them. I do feel like some of you are trying to separate yourself from somebody as well, though, or trying not to think about somebody in October. Let's see what tarot tells us about this. Some of you are experiencing like some sort of crush or like a connection to somebody, and you don't really understand it, so you're trying not to kind of feed into that energy, because I do sense feelings of like guilt a little bit and shame maybe. I'm getting a scenario of those who are in a relationship kind of developing extra thoughts about somebody else as well. I don't know if those people are in the chat, but I'm just picking up on this strong feeling of you being connected to somebody else, if that makes sense. Let's see what tarot can tell us. What is this quantum entanglement energy, please, Spirit, in October? Because remember, we're trying to look at the month ahead. So how is this relating to Sagittarius in October? Mind you, I am filming this on October 2nd. We have the Two of Presents. Interesting. We also have the Queen of Candles reversed. What is this quantum entanglement energy about for Sagittarius? We have the Three of Needles. Okay. What is this quantum entanglement? I wonder if Jada Smith knew about this card. I'm just saying, you know, her and her entanglements. We have the Page of Presents and we have the Queen of Presents reversed. Okay, so yeah, there is a guilty feeling here, especially with the Queen of Presents reversed. For some of this is a very specific message, so I'm just going to get it out of the way and then we're going to look at this more generally. But for some of you, it does feel like you're developing some sort of crush or attraction to somebody who you shouldn't feel attracted to due to some sort of responsibility, or you being in another relationship, them being in another relationship. And it feels like this is really going to be pushing you to want to talk about it. In October, you're feeling really uncomfortable with the Three of Needles being here. Some of you, this is talking about having a difficult conversation about your thoughts, while others of you, with the Two of Presents here, it's a feeling of you balancing out how you are thinking and feeling for this person and trying to kind of get it under control, trying to decide, like, what do I do about this? Should I do something about this? Maybe I should just try to get it all under control first. With the Page of Presents here, I think that it is difficult because this person who you may be having these feelings for and these thoughts towards is showing up as someone who is very, like, promising, maybe even naive towards, like, how you feel. Like, you interact with them in such a positive way. Like, I feel like it's a developing situation as well with the Page of Presents here. There's a lot of potential and you can recognize that, but you just don't know what to say and do. So I see a lot of you maintaining a level of, like, professionalism in this situation, or just kind of being really careful about what you say. With that Page of Presents, it almost feels like you're trying to keep it contextual. The interactions are just based on, like, what you're going through with that person at that time. Like, if you see them at a grocery store, you're going to say, like, hey, what fruit are you buying? You know, if you see them at work, you're going to say, what project are you working on? You're trying not to kind of deviate from that structure or from that setting. But with the Queen of Candles reversed, the desire is that you want to kind of get to know each other more deeply, or the passion feels blocked, but the desire is there. And that's the first scenario that I'm getting with this card. So it seems very interesting. Your secret crush too, Aki. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the other scenario, which is more general, that I'm getting with these cards, is that this quantum entanglement is you trying to disconnect from a situation which has been, you've been toing and froing on, like, should I do this, should I do that? And you're getting to a point where you know you need to make a difficult decision, but this difficult decision means you need to have a difficult conversation. And it involves you weighing up your options and trying to figure out, like, okay, do I go with this or do I go with that? And you're trying to manage this by picking the option that has the most potential. Because I do feel like you're in a situation in which it on paper looks really good, but you're getting a bit bored, or you're getting to a point where you're like, I can't actually grow much further from here. And so this quantum entanglement, it could be that you're considering leaving this workplace for that workplace, this situation for that situation. And in October, these thoughts are very intrusive. They keep coming back. And this constant desire to kind of just go and live your Page of Presents best life instead of having to answer to your responsibilities with this Queen of Presents, it just keeps coming back. I feel a strong feeling of you just kind of weighing up your options and going, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Like, is today the day that I make that hard decision and I choose that path? And I do think that with the Queen of Candles reversed, you are afraid of accidentally giving into an impulse here and doing something that isn't well thought out, and just kind of waking up and reacting to the moment and doing it. Especially because quantum entanglement is reversed, it's almost like you're kind of gaslighting yourself a little bit and saying, like, Sagittarius, this isn't real, like, it's not a real thing, but you're picking up on the energy of it. You're picking up on the chemistry that you have to this other situation. And so it feels like you're juggling two things here. Okay, Spirit, what else can you tell them about this quantum entanglement? We have the King of Wands. Yeah, I do think that you're not imagining this. Like, there is an energetic connection. This quantum entanglement, you are picking up on something. We have the Seven of Wands reversed, but energy does not equal intention. We have the Three of Wands upright. You're not imagining it, but you're also not getting the clear confirmation that you need. So I do think that with the Seven of Wands reversed, the situation is complicated because the energy is there, but the intention isn't. Especially if we're talking about another person, like you were saying, in the chat. I'm trying to keep this general just in case somebody else tunes in later and it doesn't necessarily apply to them, but when you're here, your energy is a lot stronger, I'll be honest with you. So it's hard to kind of keep this general. But I do see how with that King of Wands, there is energy here. There's a strong sense of connection, especially if we're talking about another person. There's chemistry. You're picking up on energy, attraction for a lot of you. Especially with all this fire here, there is a lot of tension for a lot of you, maybe even sexual tension. It just feels like with the Seven of Wands reversed, there's no effort, there's no kind of, if you really want this, fight for it, and they're not getting that, you know? Especially with the Three of Wands upright, you are in a waiting energy. You're feeling it building, but it's not going anywhere. Let's quickly ask Anchal, that's a good question. What are their intentions? What are this person's intentions towards Sagittarius? Oh, sorry. I'm so dramatic. It's not that bad. But I'm getting frustrated with this person. So I don't know how you're going. I've only tapped in for like 5 minutes and I'm getting frustrated. What is this person's intentions towards Sagittarius in October? Oh. So annoying. What is this person's intentions? Okay, we got 3 cards. Let's see what those cards say. At the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Blades. I see you cutting this person off first. I see you going like, that's not good enough. But I also see you making the line really hazy. Like, it wouldn't be that hard for this person to come back if they wanted to. Like, I see you kind of just standing there and like giving this look. But I do think that your attraction to this person is going to really have you in some sort of vice in October. It's going to be hard for you to... You're going to try your best with quantum entanglement reversed. You can push it away. You can distract yourself. You can go and live your best life and find other things to focus on, but the energy is still there. They kind of come back like a song that you just can't get out of your head, right? So the first card that came out was the Lovers card reversed. We also have the Three of Pentacles upright. And we have Temperance reversed. So this person's doing the same thing to you, Sagittarius. Their intentions are to do the same thing. You're both pushing the other person away energetically, thinking about them privately, not wanting to make a heavy decision about them, not wanting to kind of jump into anything, not wanting to do the wrong thing, but wanting to maintain whatever mutual connection you have with the Three of Pentacles, trying to keep it kind of civil. I see you both doing the same thing, basically. This person's intentions are to do what they need to with the Three of Pentacles to keep working with you, collaborating with you, or being around you in that shared environment. With the Lovers card reversed, they don't want to make a decision in October. They feel like it's either likely that they're going to make a decision that they'll regret, or they may make a decision that isn't well informed. And they also, with the Temperance card, are afraid of messing things up and really creating a lot of chaos and doing something that other people are going to judge for the sake of, with Temperance reversed, it feels like an action taken out of immaturity and being looked at as, why did you do that? I do think that it's, well, we'll get advice now, but I do think that you're both going to be mirroring that energy towards one another, because I see you doing that too, Sag. Your intuition is dead on with this person. You have like read them very accurately. You know like what they, that's why I think you're mimicking their behavior in October. You're kind of emulating this too, trying to push them away, trying not to kind of, because you're picking up on the fact that they're really, energy's there, but the intention isn't there. So Spirit, what is the advice for Sagittarius with this quantum entanglement? It'll be interesting doing your love reading in the middle of the month to see if anything has changed. Because this is a lot of energy, like this is a lot of tension. At the back of the deck, we have Share Your Voice. It is reversed. I think it's reversed on purpose. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. This is something that I don't think a lot of you are comfortable talking to other people about. With share your voice reversed, it is helpful for you to find a way to process your thoughts on this though. So while it may not be appropriate for you to talk about it to somebody else, I would encourage you to journal or just to get all your thoughts out so that you can process them and better understand some of the things that you're thinking. I think that pretending you're not having those thoughts isn't going to be helpful, because it's almost feeding into the fantasy and the fantastical, romantical world that this person lives in your mind. You almost need to kind of do up a pros and cons list in terms of who this person really is, so that you can take that shine away from them and look at them more as who they are. Because I feel like some of you may put them on a little bit of a pedestal because you're pushing them away so much and you're kind of denying who they truly are to a certain extent. We also have Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. And we have Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So I definitely feel like this is someone who, you may think they're the bee's knees, but you are the bee's knees, Sagittarius. You are someone who I feel is attracting a lot of people towards you. And this is the one that you're focused on in October, but they're not your only option. In fact, I see that this person for a lot of you could be a stepping stone into something that you are truly seeking, into the energy that you are actually attracting towards you. This person feels like a stepping stone for Pillar of Light to be here. That is a feeling of you evolving and kind of upgrading yourself and almost like transcending this situation. With Trust Your Path, I do think that you should do what you can outside of this connection in the month of October. There's a strong feeling of you kind of being bold with your actions, with what you're doing with your life outside of this person. Although they're a main theme in October, they're not the only thing that you've got going on. This card is encouraging you to not put your life on hold and to really go after the things that you want to do, especially knowing that the universe is working with you a lot right now to really make sure that you're setting yourself up. I do see, I know, Anshal, you travel a lot anyway, but I do see a lot of travel for Sagittarius in general in October, whether it's day trips for some of you or just trying to kind of do things that you may have been putting off and being more kind of helpfully distracted from the situation, so that you're not just sitting in that energy, because that is a really, like, no wonder it's hard not to think about this person. It is a very confusing energy, but it's also a very intoxicating energy, and it's hard to kind of get out of it once you're there. So helpful distractions seem to be the key over here. That's what I'm seeing with quantum entanglement. It was a lot. I hope you're okay. Please look after your beautiful self with that. And I mean, we need to do more readings, clearly, that help you, but I think your love reading will be really interesting in the middle of this month. Let's go to your last theme now. You've been such a long group, but we can't complain. We have Matter and Void. This is interesting. This is where I feel you pushing things away that don't matter and really trying to put heavy substance to the things that do matter. Your attention seems to be very intoxicating for some people and very frustrating for other people. Like, I see some people being annoyed at the fact that you're not giving them attention, and then I see other people wondering, like, why is Sagittarius, I haven't seen Sagittarius in a while, and all of a sudden they're here. I want to get messages from the book about both of these cards though. So let's look at Matter first. Oh, wow. Oh, hi, Jude. Hi, Voodoo Ninja. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. I just went past the card. Whoops. Let me go back. Here we go. Matter. Concretion. Okay. The concrete, the tangible, structure, basic order, perceivable and detectable through physical methods. This card supports our tangible creations, as well as the realization of everything related to agreements and finishing projects. It should be noted that it is the main component of all bodies and that it is susceptible to change over time. Interesting. And then we have the Void, which is the complete opposite energy. This is empty space. Can you handle it? No answer, no energy, no message. There is nothing. At the same time, it is like the paradox of silence. It can sound louder than 1,000 words, opening the possibility of the whole. Cosmic voids are bubble-like structures that contain nothing inside and are scattered throughout space. At the same time, they act as valuable tools to unravel the mysteries of the universe. So the oracle also has and imposes its healing limits. Interesting. So the thing about this card, the creator of this deck has commented that if you've already asked many questions, this can appear as an issue with a rather short, decisive energy, such as everything has already been said to you, or I have nothing more to give to you. And this was the last card that we pulled in your spread. So Spirit is kind of saying, like, at this point, sweets, I have nothing else to say. Like, you have everything. And I think a major theme in October is going to be you maybe needing to deal with situations that you have been suppressing or putting off. You may be getting the same messages over and over and over, or you may be dealing with the same situation even when you try to distract yourself. It's like you're really being called to focus on something here, and even though you may be seeking a lot of different answers from a lot of different places, you could be getting the same message over and over and over again, especially with matter being here. Spirit's almost saying, like, you have all the tools you need to help deal with situations that are causing issues. And in this case, this matter card feels like finishing something or seeing something through to the end as well. So let us get some tarot and clarify, what is this main theme for Sagittarius in October? Ooh, my throat chakra just closed. Okay. What is this main theme? We have the Tower card reversed. What is this main theme for Sagittarius in October? We have the Hanged Man upright. It's definitely something that you've been sitting on for a while. We've got to just get through it. We have the Six of Presents. That's the Six of Pentacles in this deck. And we also have the Three of Candles, so the Three of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of energy of, like, this is a situation that has either already happened or you've been dealing with it for a while now. The cards are saying the same thing that the oracle cards were saying. Like, tarot is confirming the oracle's message. So I feel with the Tower reversed, this is a theme that has started a while back, and it was maybe really shocking and difficult to deal with in the beginning, but the energy has either since become stable or stagnant. And we're still facing the same issue, but it's not as destructive as it was in the beginning. It's now time to consider how to rebuild and how to move forward. And I think with the Hanged Man here, that's confirmation from Spirit that you will have all the answers you need in October to be able to move forward. Even if you think you want more and you think you need more, Spirit's saying, no, you actually have everything you need in order to start moving forward. With the Six of Presents here, it feels like you should just be focusing on, like, the month of October, November, and December at the most with this situation. Just starting that first sort of step, that practical first steps in rebuilding something in this situation or progressing in this situation. I also think the Six of Pentacles is talking about how you manage your energy in this situation, how you manage your time, trying to be balanced, trying to be equal, trying to make sure that you're not kind of giving too much over here and not enough over there. This situation feels like something in which you may need to be aware of how much effort you're putting into it and how little effort you're putting into it at times. I'm getting that word transactional again. It always comes up with the Six of Presents lately. But with the Three of Candles here, there is still this feeling of, like, the situation is evolving. And in October, that's why it's important to just take it kind of one step at a time, because with each step, we open more possibilities. We open kind of more doors. So I do think that whatever the situation is, doing nothing isn't going to take you very far. You're going to hit a point in October where you have to start kind of doing something. And so start small, Don't expect too much. Just be balanced, especially if this involves another person. You're just matching each other's energy. You give a little, they give a little. If it is involving a bigger theme in your life, like should I move countries or should I do this, and it's a huge issue and you're very nervous, again, start small. Put a little bit of energy in, but putting no energy into this is going to cause you to just stay stuck and stagnant. Spirit is really strongly suggesting that in October, even though you want more information, you have all the information you need in order to move forward. And the goal here seems to be starting from the ground up. Just work on those first steps, those initial steps of creating stability and some sort of foundation. And then from there, you're going to just slowly be moving forward here. With that Three of Candles, it feels like more is going to kind of transpire and happen after that foundation is laid. But the goal over here seems to be to lay a foundation. We have the Knight of Potions at the back of the deck. So some slow, tentative, shy actions, but we are taking actions. So is there anything else you can tell them about this theme? Is there anything else you can tell them about this theme? I could see how somebody else may be helpful in moving forward as well for some of you. But it feels like the reasons why we move forward in this theme isn't about what works for them. It's more about what was working for us. Like, why are we doing this for us, not for them? It's so weird. Can I get any other information about this theme, please, Spirit? Like, that void message is just kind of like creating an emptiness in my head, if that makes sense. Like, it's making it difficult to tune into the Matter card. We have the Two of Pentacles upright, and we have the Queen of Discs reversed. So at the back of the deck is the Eight of Cups upright. So I feel like at some point in October, you're going to have to walk away from an unhelpful pattern of behavior and just start doing something. The interesting thing about this is I don't know if you know what you're walking towards. That's what's the scariest part about this. And that's why I can feel like it's not an easy thing to do, because you're dealing with a Tower moment that has happened. So there's nothing really to kind of go off. You're in a blank slate situation. It has been difficult in the past, but like you're just needing to try to start to rebuild something and not to hold on to things that are unhelpful, which feels like behaviors. With the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Discs reversed, I do think that in this situation, there is this feeling of you, I want to say, weighing things up and trying to kind of make those little practical plans on a short-term basis, because long-term, I feel like you haven't fully tapped into your potential in this situation. I could see how this could lead to some major changes in your material world. But for now, just focus on the day-to-day. Just focus on getting through October, and then November, and then December. Come 2023, this situation could be very, very different by then. It could be completely different. Huge transformation. But in October, just focus on getting from this day to that day, this day to that day, until the end of the month. And for as long as you need to do that. For a lot of you, that's going to be what it's like for the rest of the year. And it feels like you're maybe even saving money to make the situation a bit easier. You're trying to put money aside and you're just trying to get through the process so that you can hit a point where you have enough resources and you have enough time to be able to make bigger changes. But in October with this situation, it's about finishing something that you've already started and just laying down that foundation of the next steps forward, if that makes sense. Let's get some advice for this theme. Oh, Jada, welcome, sweet soul. You are a little bit late. Oh, that's okay. After this, it'll process, and then you can watch it back as well. What is the advice here for Sagittarius with this theme, Spirit? Oh, see, Sagittarius, I love your energy because, listen, you are an energy that is blessed. And that's why, like, it's hard because I can see how you get into situations where, especially Sagittarius suns, you get into situations where you really, like, your loyalty just keeps you there. But you're actually the kind of sign that thrives when you're not trying to be loyal to anything. When you're only trying to be loyal to yourself, that's when you really thrive. And the right people will see that and they won't question it. They'll be like, Sagittarius, we know you have a big heart, but stay true to yourself. We don't expect you to compromise your loyalty of self for us. And so that's what this situation seems to be about as well. At the back of the deck, we have that Grandmother of Jesus card again, seeding the light, laying foundations. Your advice is literally to lay foundations and trust the divine plan when it comes to the bigger changes and the bigger steps. Your first card that came out was yes. Just say yes. And it's as simple as that sometimes. I think that card with this theme is talking more about making the energy kind of, what's the word? Movable and just letting it kind of move instead of just sitting in the stillness, or instead of just sitting in this thick of it. Let it kind of start moving forward by starting to say yes, by starting to work on it even, and kind of chipping away at it slowly. With this protection card, I didn't show that to you yet, sorry. We have the protection card as your next advice card. Call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. The thing about that card is it's talking about reclaiming your power and getting your energy back from places, people, situations, behaviors that it doesn't deserve to be. So it can look like putting up boundaries sometimes and saying like no to certain things, to allow yourself the room to say yes to other things. It can also look like you energetically withdrawing before you have to verbalize it, and just making sure that your energy is invested in the right places, making sure that your mindset is invested in the right places in terms of your thoughts, making sure that you're not kind of overly fixated on what is going wrong and what isn't working, so that your energy can start to be more open to the positive shifts and to the opportunities to move forward and out of this situation. A lot of this advice seems to be internal. Getting through this theme feels like you may need to make some internal shifts before you're ready and able to take those big physical shifts, those big physical changes. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius. When it comes to the month of October, I think you've been my longest reading, but it has been a pleasure to read for you. We got some really complicated themes for you. I hope the messages were helpful and informative and supportive and even just confirming, especially around that person that you're dealing with. Your intuition has been bang on, but that doesn't make it any less confusing. They're a very confusing person to deal with. I hope the advice is helpful in all of these situations though. If it didn't resonate 100%, you may have messages in your sun, moon, rising sign, especially for a general reading. Otherwise, you guys stay posted for your mid-monthly love predictions reading. I feel like it's going to be, there's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be one that we need to kind of get strapped in for. I feel like that's going to be one of my longest readings as well, your monthly love predictions reading. I look forward to seeing you there, but in the meantime, thank you so much to everybody who was able to join me. Thank you so much to those who are watching afterwards as well. Sending you so much love and light. Have a prosperous, abundant, successful, happy, joyful month ahead, and I shall connect with you in another video. Bye!